is your own ego, Gion. It's unbeatable.
The next 15 minutes were pure animated chaos.
Nobita discovered he could double jump by flapping his arms.
There you go, Gimma. Double jump, pal. I'll show you.
Hard. Sunio got his head stuck in a question mark block and had to be rescued by a passing power-up mushroom. Gion challenged the neighborhood's most aggressive Chihua to a boss battle and somehow won, though the Chihua filed a formal complaint. Nobita's mother came outside, saw her son bouncing
Nobita, what are you doing?
between floating platforms 50 feet in the air, and simply turned around and went back inside. She had learned long ago that some things were beyond maternal concern. Eventually, Doraemon pressed another button, and reality snapped back to normal with a sound like a rubber band releasing. Everyone crashed to the
That was the greatest thing that...
has ever happened to me.
My console can't do that.
Sunio admitted quietly, his pointy hair flattened and his pride thoroughly deflated.
But the day's just beginning.
Was far from over, and Doraemon's pocket was far from empty. As the group recovered from their reality-bending adventure, Shizuka Minamoto appeared at the end of the street, walking her way toward them with the grace of an angel and the unknowing power of someone who held Nobita's entire heart.
In her hands without even trying.
Nobita's reaction was immediate and predictable. His eyes became hearts, his legs became jelly, and his brain became a...
Nobita, are you okay? Shizuka-chan! Shizuka-chan!
Falling back down, Shizuka smiled that warm, genuine smile that made flowers bloom, and Nobita's IQ dropped by 40 points.
Good morning, everyone. What are you?
What are you all doing? We were playing a game where reality became a video game and I got my head stuck in a question mark block.
Normal Saturday.
That sounds fun. I wish I could have been there.
I scrambled to my feet, desperate to seem cool and competent for once in his life.
Shizuka-chan!
Do you want to, that is to say, what I'm trying to ask?
Words were not Nobita's strong suit when Shizuka was involved. They came out like a puzzle that had been put together wrong, with pieces missing and others forced into places they didn't belong. Doraemon sighed. The sigh of someone who had watched this same scenario play out approximately 7,000 times. He reached into his pocket once more. Secret gadget number 3, he announced. The confidence converter! The gadget looked like a pair of glasses, but the lenses were made of something that sparkled like bottled confidence. Pink frames curved with encouraging energy, and tiny motivational quotes scrolled across the...
Put these on. They'll temporarily boost your confidence to normal human levels. Normal human levels? That's... my best case scenario?
Nobita, let's be realistic here.
Nobita put on the glasses, and something magical happened. His spine straightened, his jaw set with a determination. His eyes cleared of their usual fog of self-doubt. For one shining moment, he looked like someone who had never failed a test or
Tripped over his own feet. Shizuka, he said smoothly, his voice deeper and more assured. Would you like to join us for an afternoon of adventures? I promise it'll be memorable.
Everyone stared. Sunio's jaw dropped. Gion scratched his head in confusion. Shizuka's cheeks actually turned pink.
That sounds...
Lovely, Nobita-san. The sun. She had added sun. This was an unprecedented development in their relationship history.
Unfortunately, the confidence converter had a tiny flaw.
that Doraemon had forgotten to mention. It only worked for exactly 30 seconds before the confidence converted back, but with interest. Like a confidence loan.
With terrible terms. Nobita felt the change coming like a wave of doom approaching. His confident posture began to crumble. His smooth voice cracked. And then, in a spectacular display of character regression, he blurted out,
I once cried because a cloud looked like my grandmother.
Silence.
What? Confused but still smiling because she was genuinely too nice for this world. I have named all the dust bunnies under my bed. Their leader is called Commander Fluffsworth. Nobita, I'm a very aggressive bread.
Doraemon quickly yanked the glasses off Nobita's face, but the damage was done. Nobita stood there, his secrets exposed, his dignity in tatters, while his friends stared at him with a mixture of horror and fascination.
Commander Fluffsworth?
Gian repeated. Slowly. He's very wise, Nobita whispered defeatedly. Surprisingly, it was Shizuka who saved the moment. She let out a laugh, not a mocking laugh, but a...
Nobita-san, you're always so funny. I didn't know you were afraid of bread, though. That's actually adorable. It is?
It is not.
It's weird. What kind of bread? Like angry baguettes? All bread has potential for aggression.
The group's banter was interrupted by a commotion down the street. A small crowd had gathered around Mr. Ganari, the neighborhood's most dramatic elderly man, who was standing in front.
My precious bonsai! My life's work! 40 years of careful cultivation gone!
Nobita, calm down. What happened?
Bonsai's all gone!
This is a catastrophe.
Rushed over to investigate, because in this neighborhood, other people's problems quickly became everyone's problems, especially when Doraemon's pocket was involved. Mr. Ganari's prized bonsai tree, a magnificent miniature pine that had won 17 local competitions and was featured in 3 gardening magazines, had been knocked over and shattered. Its tiny branches lay scattered across the ground like broken dreams, and the old man was actually crying, his tears dropping onto the soil like rain.
What happened?
The wind! A terrible gust! It came out of nowhere and...
Than a plant to him. It had been a companion through decades of loneliness, a living thing he had nurtured and loved. Nobita felt his heart squeeze. He understood loving something that others might find silly. Commander Fluffsworth's tiny dust face flashed through his mind. He turned to Doraemon with pleading eyes. Doraemon, despite his often exasperated demeanor, had a heart as soft as his round blue exterior. He reached into his pocket with determination. Secret gadget number 4, the Rewind Flower. The gadget that emerged was beautiful. A crystalline flower with petals made of frozen time. It glowed with a soft golden light, and when Doraemon held it, everyone could hear the faint ticking of countless clocks. This flower can reverse time for any single
Object, we can undo the damage and restore the bonsai to its former glory.
Really?
You can do that? Doraemon placed the rewind flower gently on the scattered remains of the bonsai. The petals began to glow brighter. And then...
something miraculous happened. Time began to flow backward around the broken tree. Scattered branches lifted themselves from the ground. Shattered pottery reassembled piece by piece. Soil swirled back into place like it was following choreography. In 60 seconds, the bonsai stood whole again, more beautiful than ever, its tiny leaves catching the sunlight like green jewels. Mr. Ganari fell to his knees, tears of joy streaming down his wrinkled face.
Thank you! Thank you, you wonderful children! You've saved my life's work! The old man insisted on rewarding them, disappearing into his house and returning with armfuls of homemade cookies.
Traditional sweets, and for some reason, a small trophy that said, World's Greatest Neighbors.
Where did you get this trophy? I had...
It was made in anticipation of this exact moment. One must always be prepared.
Wow, this is amazing! Thank you, Mr. Guy. These cookies are the best!
Let's send it out! More cookies!
In the neighborhood's glory, Nobita noticed something strange. In the distance, atop the nearby hillside that overlooked the park, a shadowy figure stood watching them. It was small, round, and had pointed ears that twitched with each movement below.
Doraemon, someone is watching us!
Doraemon's eyes.
That's impossible. What? That's Doraki! He's a vampire robot cat from the shadow!
Dimension! He's supposed to be locked away in the temporal prison! A vampire robot cat? That's very specific. 22nd century problems, Nobita. The figure on.
The hillside suddenly vanished, leaving only a wisp of darkness behind. But the feeling of being watched remained, pressing down on the group like an invisible weight. Doraemon's cheerful demeanor had shifted to something more serious. We need to be careful. Doraki doesn't just appear randomly. If he's here, he's
After something in my pocket.